I've told you guys I've taken you on a journey. Sit on this pillow because for some of you guys don't know, I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm not the shortest, but I'm not the tallest. Um, One of the things I want to share with you guys is that one of the biggest things God has shown me in this time is a lot of us are just existing. We're doing what's comfortable. We're in our comfort zone. We're in this platinum prison we've created for ourselves to feel safe. Our heart's not going to get broken, or we're whatever false sense of security you've created because of past pain and all these other things. It's not real. God is calling you out of that. Don't make that God because you working so hard to protect. They getting too close. I don't want that. I don't want to get hurt again. I want to be disappointed. No, that's you. That's not God. God is gonna call you out of the boat, and calling you out of the boat makes you uncomfortable. When it requires faith to do it, it's God. When it makes you have to step on every rule, regulation you've ever put on yourself because of fear, because of pain, because of heartbreak, because of past trauma, that is God all day long. He does not work within your comfort zone. In fact, he shatters your comfort zone because the zone he's calling you to supersedes logic, supersedes natural fleshly bounds. And that's intentional. If we're going to be water walkers, we got to supersede logic. We got to get out of our own way. And a lot of us are in our own way because we're so afraid. Our ego doesn't want to, what happens? Oh my. If God is calling you out of the boat, you're safe. And when I mean safety, I mean, when you call you out, you got to get you there. It's up to you to get you to your desired location. But when God calls you out, you now have the God of the universe working on your side, on your behalf to make things happen for you. You're under his insurance plan. When you decide to do it in your strength, you're under your insurance plan. So if God is calling you out, God is calling you to do things you've never done, say things you never said, step on every rule you've ever created for yourself, yes, do it. Because your deepest desires, the dreams that you done forgot about, are on the other side of your obedience. And a lot of us are like, oh, well, God is calling me here, there, and everywhere. But no. God called you to be obedient. He's not giving you new instruction. He's not going to give you new instruction until you obey the last instruction. So that's why you're all over the place and confused, because God is like, you still haven't done what I've called you to do. So you're not hearing from me. You hearing from you. God calls you to obedience. When you obey, he gives you the next instruction. So a lot of people, when I speak to them, I'm hearing that. Okay, but when we spoke last time, God said to focus on this. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get there. Yeah, so God hasn't said nothing else to you. He hasn't about your life. No, he wants you to obey the last thing. When you do that, then you get the next instruction. How do I know? Because I've been there. God knows me. I'm gonna fight him a little bit, and then I'm gonna do it. It's the same way with my trainer. My trainer knows me. Like, I'm gonna be like, for real. So we gonna do it. So okay. But then I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna challenge myself. But that's how I am with God too. I might give him a little back and forth. Sometimes I'm immediate. He doesn't require that. Sometimes I'm gonna be a little spicy. I'm gonna like, God, really, for real, and then I'll do it. I mean, it's just how it is. But again, he's not giving me new until I obey the first thing. I'm not getting the next instruction. So that's that. You got to obey God first and what he's called you to, the main thing he's called you to. You'll get the next instruction after that. I digress. Let's get back into it. So number one thing is what I've been saying. We can choose to exist. We can choose to exist, or we can choose to live. And living has purpose. Living is fulfillment. I don't care what worldly accolade you decide you want to get. It doesn't mean anything if it lacks purpose. You'll get it tomorrow. You meet people all the time. They win these big awards or whatever the case may be, and guess what? They're on the market to go do it again. They get the award. Woo! Yeah. Okay, next day we're back to doing it again. Because that's not it becomes an addiction. I want to do it again and again and again. Why? Because it's never meant to satisfy. It's not meant to fulfill you. It will never fulfill you. We think that next thing will fulfill you, and it doesn't. The only fulfillment comes from like a real relationship with your God. Like, I'll tell you right now, even though there are always new things God is trying to get me to, I have never felt more alive and more fulfilled than in these last few months of my life. Well, few months I say, but it's almost been a year of me doing this, walking this heavy with God. I've never felt more alive. He's always caught me out of the boat. He's always confronting my comfort zone. I'm on the edge of my seat trying to see what he's going to do next. Like, it's a different way of living when you're living with God, when you're living in alignment with God. It really is better. I mean, it just is. It's better. It's better over here for real. It's not like I have been in the world. I've done my own thing. I've lived in my comfort zone. I have done that. It's better over here. Way better. I have more peace, more fulfillment, more excitement, if I'm being honest. Because God is calling me all the way out the boat. And y'all know, with this move and everything like that, God is calling me out of my comfort zone. The things that he's called me to do has been so far out of bounds. People in my life are like, have you lost it? If we didn't know that you were lucid, we would probably put you in a sane asylum. But then they've seen things happen and they're like, oh, well, never mind. I guess you're not that crazy. It's like, no, I'm talking to God. But again, people haven't seen people walk in faith like this. And I get that. We have a very diluted version of Christianity today. We really, really do. We don't really see faith. We see Christianity, and we see it in a way that honestly upsets me because it's very hateful. It's very judgmental. It's diminishing. It's not, that's not the heart of God. I'm sorry. I've experienced God. Does God convict me of my sin? Yes, he does. Does he allow me to walk in it and be comfortable? No, he doesn't. But he has never condemned me. He's convicted me strongly, but he's never condemned me. So this condemnation, this judgmental, this hate speech, it's not God. It's not. He's convicting. Yes, he does call us to walk a set apart path. He does call us to walk in a way that is righteous, is holy. But he's not condemning. He's not beating you up. He's not. No. It's not God. And I understand people's intention. And this goes into my number 2. I love a resurgence of boldness. So many people are afraid to tell the truth today, family, because they're so afraid of being canceled. I've seen interviews with people, they're talking to pastors and be like, oh, don't say that. I might get canceled. I don't want. Who cares? Are you kidding me? If the truth comes out, what does it matter? You're more worried. That just shows me your heart posture. You're more concerned about being liked than telling the truth. And so many people today are so afraid of telling the truth. They're so afraid of being out because, oh, what if the guy get canceled? Okay, okay. God will raise up something else for me then. I trust God. I'm not trusting in people. God never tells us to trust in people. He 100% tells us to trust in him and him alone. That doesn't mean you don't trust people, obviously, that God has placed in your life, but they're mere mortals. You don't trust them more than you trust God. If God is calling you to have a conversation on your platform that might be, it's towing the line. Oh, then have it. There's been times, y'all, I'll reach out to pastors and people like that. And I get it. I understand the climate. I personally, because I've experienced my own people trying to cancel me and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care about that. I think that's why God did it. Because I'm like, okay, I know how people are. They're not, one day they love you, they hate you, and they say, okay, cool. I'm over that. Let's talk about the real stuff then. Now that I've gotten that fear out the way, that's been addressed. I know that If God is for you, there is no one that could be against you. And so many people ignore the voice of God because they're afraid of being canceled. Okay. I would rather be canceled for telling the truth about God. If it's in the name of God, God's gonna take care of me. Because again, I live by that. If I call me to something, then I've gotta see me through. But if God calls me to something, then God sees me through. So if God is for me, I truly believe this. I live this way. Then no one can be against me. Who's a mere mortal? What are y'all? You can take my life, but you can't take my soul. You can't take my spirit. We don't live like that. We live in this little fear, little box of like, oh my God, in the world. And I've lived that way, family. Let's be clear. But God is really showing me that's existing. That's not living. When you're living in this fear, oh my God, we self-sabotage because we're so afraid. No. Don't let the enemy steal your legacy. Don't let him steal your future. Don't let him steal, kill, or destroy the things that God has for you out of fear. So many of us, if we're watching, we're entrapped by fear. Fear just got us in this chokehold and we just can't get out. No. You cast that thing out in the name of Jesus and you keep pushing. You keep hitting, you keep getting up and you keep swinging. You don't let the enemy stop you from what God has for you. No. So many of us are so afraid. I mean, people that orders, great orders of word of God. I don't want to listen, I don't know what's gonna happen if I talk about that, because that's gonna really. So what? If God has called you to speak now, if God has called you to speak about those hard subjects, you speak about it. You don't allow what people think about it to stop you. Again, make sure it's God that's calling you, not you calling you. Because I will say, when you call you got to insure. When God calls you, he gives the insurance. Some of us are calling ourselves out of the boat, not waiting on God or seeking God about that. And that's a whole nother conversation. But so many people are walking on eggshells. And what I'm seeing, though, is that the more popular names now are people that are not afraid to address the hard subjects. That's what's coming up now. Like, we're having people that are being bold again and just speaking about what God has put on their spirit to speak. And these are the ministers that we're seeing. They're bold. They saying it. They're not holding back. They're not speaking in hate. The one something about my head, they're not speaking in hate. They're speaking in love. But they're speaking truth. And that is why their platform is being elevated the way that it is. Because God trusts them to speak truth. And I pray that they continue to do that. We need more water walkers, more people that are unafraid and unashamed to live a certain way, not for themselves, but for God. God did not put us on this planet just to live for ourselves. God put us on this planet to live for him. And when we have it out of order and we don't have our priorities in line and in check, we lose sight of the real mission and we get lost. And that's when you see people finding fulfillment in other things. Why do you think every drug, alcohol program there is, they talk about a God? They acknowledge a God. Why? Because we were made to worship. We were made to understand that we are not the biggest thing. That we live under the biggest thing. We live under a sovereign God. That hope, that understanding brings peace. There is a very real God, family. A very real God. And he does not play. I don't care what we represent ourselves as, whether we represent ourselves as Christians. He knows the truth. And there's much more people saying they are Christians than there actually are Christians. I don't care how you worship in church, how you live your life. Because one thing that I see a lot of, and I know it's been this last week, but being hateful that's not what God is calling us to. We're better than others. That's not God. That's not God. God calls us to be a servant. Not the heart posture, humility of a servant. Not no, that's not God. He is that. We are not. We serve an all-knowing, all-encompassing, sovereign being. We are not that being. We need more boldness. We definitely need more boldness. People stop being so afraid of being canceled. What are they going to say about me? So what? Be bold. Join me. There's a lot of us that are doing it. God is raising people that are bold up. You may not have the degree. You may have not gone to seminary. You may not, but God is raising a new generation up that is bold. But we have to remember love.